we live in a cynical world where, as girls in your mother's milk, you are asked to be a goddess. Uh, when, as a boy, you're sitting on your father's lap, he's teaching you how to flex your muscles, how to be the protector, how to be the strong one. Boys, don't cry. You know, girls are being told, you can't be so sensitive. शादी होके जाएगी, तेरी सास ऐसा करेगी तो क्या करेगी, तो रोएगी क्या? Somebody needs to take responsibility of the fact that we are not animals, we are human beings. Every single thing that we do in life, including breathing, including being alive today, is because we look forward to happiness in some way or the other. But there is this entire culture of not giving importance to emotional health, which is what I'm here to speak about. Not as somebody who has some sort of authority or expertise over the topic, but as somebody who's lived life and who's been a little observant about it. I would like to tell you about myself when I was 7 years old. I very clearly remember this night when I had gone to stay over at my uncle's place. And 7-year-old, I had a boy cut curly hair. I was this very annoying kid who wouldn't shut up. Like, I was the kind of kid that mothers would give Benadryl to put to sleep. You know, just put her to sleep already. Can you, you know? And all night, all my cousins, you know, they played, and we knew that there was this one person who was coming to my uncle's house. I have a huge family. I grew up with like 6 first cousins who are elder brothers, you know, and then like 8 first cousins who are younger than me. So I am made of titanium, basically. You know, you have 6 elder brothers who fart in your face, you can deal with anything in life. That's what you want to believe, right? So that day, all of us cousins are camping in the hall, on the bedroom, on the carpet, on the bed, on the sofa of my uncle's house, because that's what families do, you know, you grow up together, you have fun together. And this man, this uncle who was supposed to come to my uncle's place, comes around 12:30 in the night when all of us are supposed to be asleep, of course. Guess who wasn't? So this man comes in and he's sleeping on this couch over here, and me being the kind of girl that I am, inquisitive, everybody is gone and I can't obviously sleep because I'm too excited with life. And I get up and I ask him, who are you? What are you doing here? Why did you come here? Why are you not asleep as yet? How did you come? I have 50,000 questions for him. But there was something different about this guy. He had questions for me too. He wanted to talk to me too. He actually was very, very interested in why I wore that hat that I wore to my picnic last week. While he was doing that, he also introduced me to a game. The game was, you try to hurt me. Give me your best shot. And if I scream, I lose. Then I try to hurt you. I give you my best shot. And if you scream, you lose. Okay, interesting man, wants to listen to my stories. I slapped him really hard, as hard as a 7-year-old could. He winced, made this face, oh, this hurt and all of that. And then it was his turn. So he took out a pen, you know those tick-tick pens? The ones that you play with when you're nervous? You keep pressing them, and they make this really interesting, somehow gratifying sound. And he was playing with it throughout. And he asked me to come and sit on his lap. He asked me to remove my clothes. And he shoved that pen inside my vagina at the age of 7 years. Of course, I won the game. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I still haven't. What I would really like to believe is that this has not affected me in any way. What I would like to tell you is, hey, life goes on, yeah, that stuff is behind me. Is it? Now, what it has done to me is another thing. Today, as a mother of a 6-year-old, what I see and what I fear is that my son is out there, and unless I decide to be one of those crazy women who is constantly breathing down her son's neck, I have no way of knowing that he's safe. The fact of the matter is, there is no way of making sure that your loved ones are safe. However, you can equip them with the mental ability to deal with such things as an accident, not as something which should hamper who you are and what you become. At the age of 7, I was not a great student, although all my teachers would always say in every single open house, she's a brilliant student. She's so intelligent. And my report card would always have these red marks. So I would be going to the school counselor for donkey's years. I remember spending half my school life in the school counselor's cabin. And that counselor could not figure out that I was being abused. My mum could not figure out that I was being abused. Until I was in college, until I was in school, I used to feel she's a bad mother. I love her because she's my mother. You're supposed to love your mother, but she's a bad mother. She didn't realize I'm being abused. And today, as a mother, I realize she was 21, madly in love with me. Could she fathom the idea that something so horrendous had happened to me? Did somebody help her out and tell her, this is how you should deal with it? Did somebody tell her from her sanskari family that these are the signs that you look out for if your child is behaving a certain way? This is the concept of child sexual abuse. These things happen. Nobody told her. So do I blame her? Do I blame the guy who did it? Do I blame... So who do I blame? In my case, no one. I don't. I love my mother. I believe that it was my journey because I was supposed to make sure nobody else in my family got abused. I made sure I educate them sexually about every single thing. I was the annoying sister who would go and check the bags of her brothers and make sure there was a condom in there. Make sure that they know that nobody is supposed to touch them here and there. Make sure that they know, what emotional independence is, especially for my sisters. But here's the thing. That was 1998, 1999. What about today? My mother, when I was in school, had no way to know how to deal with my behavioral change, with my trauma. But what about today? Our government does not allow sexual education in schools. So basically, I have taken it upon myself to educate my son and do research, and I'm blessed with friends who are connected with a lot of NGOs and who are doing a lot of wonderful work with this. But what about all those women who don't know anything about this? Who don't know that they need to tell their children about certain things at certain ages? What is the excuse for not having sexual education in our schools today? I don't see any. What is the excuse for not having emotional health care as one of the most important things in schools today? A couple of days ago, I met a friend of mine whose daughter is in school and she is 13 years old. And my friend went on and on and on about how her daughter wouldn't eat. She says she doesn't eat. She's growing up. She doesn't eat. And I said, why? What's going on? She says she comes home with her tiffin box as it was. She doesn't want to eat because she says, I don't want to look like a bhukkad in front of my friends. In school. At home, she comes, 3 o'clock she eats something, and at night, she says, I don't want any carbs. At the age of 13, 14, she's saying, I don't want carbs. Why? What is she trying to be? Who is she trying to be? Physically, the body of an infant and the body of a teenager is going through the same thing. They need to sleep. They need rest. They need reassurance. They need comfort. But our system, of course, wants to have SSC when you're 15, peaking, in your teenage, in your puberty. This is when your body is going mad, physical changes are happening, and this is when you should be giving the most stressful exams of your life, because that's how it should be, right? My point here is, I asked her, she's she's wonderful human being, like one of those people I aspire to be like someday. And I said, did you speak to her? She said, yeah, I spoke to her. I said, look, your friends are just with you for now, huh? Your parents are going to be with you forever. Brilliant. That is exactly what you should tell a teenager, that you are not good enough for your friends, and your friends are not good enough for you, and that you should not be with your friends, because this is the most powerful, amazing way of communicating with a teenager, right? Nobody out there is helping out mothers who are creating human beings, individuals, who are going to be taking over the reins of this country, of this planet. Nobody is the support system for a woman like who is standing in front of her daughter and looking at herself in the mirror and saying, I can't wear this. I'm not good enough. Oh, I have so much fat. Oh God, I can't follow that diet because you know how I am. We are a generation of women who've seen our mothers look at themselves and say to themselves every single day, we're not good enough, and that's still going on. And nobody is going to that mother and saying, hey, you know what? There's another way of doing this. There's another way of taking care of this. How are you feeling today? It's all right. Of course, you cannot control the atmosphere and the things that happen in each and every household, but we can control as a society the atmosphere and the workings of institutions, of hospitals, of schools, of colleges, of workspaces. If you need a certain qualification to be the IS, which is who's taking care of a certain area, why don't you need to make sure that you are certified by a sensible authority whose work is to sensitize you about the culture, livelihood, and basic sense of living of that community for which you're going to be making decisions? Why isn't an education minister sensitized about the needs of students and education and society? Why isn't this a part of our culture? If my mother goes to a doctor and she's been told that you have thyroid, and she's being told you need to watch your weight, you need to eat this, you need to eat that, you need to do that, why isn't the doctor supposed to tell her that thyroid is going to make you feel this way? You will have mood swings. This is how you will feel. Your weight will go like that. It is all right. There is a way to equip yourself to deal with all of that. I would just want to tell you one last story because it means everything to me. It changed my life. When my son was born, I had the worst time. I had this horrible hormonal imbalance and I was bleeding for 3 years straight. It was very embarrassing. I used to, I couldn't go out, I couldn't do things. And there came a point of time in my life when I thought, abhi to mujhe marna hai. Chal kahin ghum ke marte hain. Let's just go see Kerala or something. And I don't know what I had done good in my life. I got to go to Kerala to this beautiful, beautiful, divine ashram called Poonthottam Ayurveda Ashram. And there was this Vaidya over there called Dr. Ravindranath Poonthottam. He is, lovingly, everybody calls him Ravi Etten. He's one of the most amazing human beings I have met in my life. I just want to leave you with the meeting that I had with him the first time. So I went to him. And I saw him, I went to his little, clinic, his little OP where he's meeting all these people, and I've come all the way from Bombay. I have already met 5 top gynecologists in Bombay, out of which all of them have given me different things to do in life, right? So all of them have told me I'm overweight. Thank you. I don't look at myself in the mirror. All of them have told me that I need to have a more active lifestyle. All of them have told me that I need to be cheerful while they are pumping me with the hormones, not telling me that the first and sure side effect of this is lethargy and depression. And I am feeling like I can't do anything in life because I am responsible to be happy while I'm going through all of this, with all of this baggage. So I go to this man, Ravi Etten, and he's sitting there in his beautiful Kerala home, and he says to me, "Hello, Sheetal, how are you feeling today?" And I'm like, "Oh, what? How are you feeling today?" And I said, okay, so I've been bleeding for blah, 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 months and years, and this is how I feel, and I have a back problem because that's where they gave me the epidural, and this is what happened, and this is what happened, and this is what happened. And he's like, ah, how are you feeling today? So I said, wait, and I removed these files, right? This is lakhs of rupees worth of tests and numbers and this entire history, medical history, and I just give it to him. And he says, how are you feeling today? And I asked him, I said, Ravi Etten, what do you mean? He said, I mean, how are you feeling today? And I asked him, what do you mean? He said, how are you feeling? How are you feeling today? Are you happy? Are you scared? Are you anxious? Are you sad? How are you feeling today? All I could say was, what do you mean? What do you mean how I'm feeling today? You're not supposed to ask me those questions. I'm an Indian woman. I'm not supposed to think about how I'm feeling today. You're not supposed to think about how you're feeling today. You're an Indian man. Whatever happened to values? And he said, just tell me how you're feeling today. I could not tell him. For 1 hour, I cried and cried and cried, and I was almost angry at him for asking me this and making me cry. He said, what do you mean how I'm feeling today? He got up, came to me, held my hand, and said, I think we're going to be fine now. I think we can fix you. And that's what I want to leave you with. Okay, we do not have an infrastructure and a system and everything which is there to support you, but there are lovely people out there who are doing amazing stuff. If some of you are in college and you have mothers at home that, you keep throwing attitude to, and you see that she's struggling with things, just go walk up to her, ask her, Mom, how are you feeling today? Go give her a back rub. Your dad, you have a weird, a lot of us, I think that's what dads are for. You have awkward relationships with fathers, But I lost my father 2 years ago. If I could just speak to him one more time, just one more time, what I would give to speak to my father just one more time and tell him, hey, you know what? You tried. I have a son today, and I know you tried, and I'm grateful. And you're a part of me. And I know that you're not doing everything to the T, but it's all right, and I'm with you. I would like to work with you. I would like to make this happen. Emotional well-being. I want to be the reason why you're not emotionally suffering. Not today, not ever. We can be that person in everybody's life. I know Robin is one such person in my life. She does these amazing things that make me feel like, okay, the world is not that bad. I know that you people can just go out, as filmy and as cheesy as it is, and pick up that phone and just call that person, man. Tell them, okay, I know you've been going through a lot. Let's work this out. Go and get that friend of yours who has rage issues and drag him to a counselor. Drag him at the cost of everything. Go speak to your mom. Tell her, I need you for the sake of me to work on your self issues. You need to love yourself because I want to love myself. Because you are just me in another body, on another journey. trying to reach God eventually. I would just like to leave you all with this final thought that if only you reach out, if only you try to reach out to another person, you might just find yourself within that person. Try to make that change. Try to take that chance, Try to sign those petitions from change.org, and just don't beat yourself about things. You're amazing people. You're beautiful people. You're shining, radiant lights of God, full of love, full of amazingness, full of this huge, baggage of amazing stuff that you're supposed to give to people. Your experience is not baggage. You're just Santa and you don't know it. You're supposed to remove that, turn it into a gift and give it to another person, just like Deepak does. And with that, I would like to ask for your blessings and to ask for your love. Thank you so much. Thank you.